quick disclaimer before I start the video. This is not a money hungry clickbait, buy my 5 billion golden hour 50% off book video. I don't give a shit about any of that, and quite frankly I don't think any of you should have to sit through that garbage. So this is just a quick video about how I made my gold in Shadowlands, and hopefully it can help some of you out. Enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back to, well, I can't really say black market because it's not a black market video. So welcome back to my gold making info guide video. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so this is more of an information video on how I made my gold and what I found like the most comfortable and successful, I guess, and how I began my black market gambling addiction. Some of the topics in this video are going to be a little bit niche. They're not going to be for everyone, but they're all completely achievable if you really want to do them. So, first rule, and yes, there are rules, you have to have fun. I know it sounds cliche as fuck, but it's a game. We all play it because we enjoy it, so you might as well have fun whilst you're doing it, or what's the point in doing it? But I'll get more into that later. So, let's go in chronological order of how I made my gold. Transmog farming. Okay, so before we get into this, there's a couple of add-ons you're going to need. Firstly, Trade Skill Master, or TSM. I'm sure you've heard of this. It's a very, very good add-on. Bit daunting if you've never used it before, but there's plenty of guides on YouTube on how to use it, and you will need it for this. And second, Loot Appraiser. Now, you don't need it, but it does really help if you're new to this, and it is quite fun to use when you see the big numbers of gold you're getting for item value. And you'll also need a druid with a speed set. We don't need it, but it's really, really helpful. I'll put that on screen right now so you can see that. So, what is transmog farming? Well, I mean, it's kind of in the name, obviously. But firstly, I'm going to put up some footage so you can see what I'm doing. In this instance, it's a Silphus farm. There's lots of ways of doing transmog farming, but personally, I go for old world loot from farms like the Silphus farm, or the Saltstone Cave farm in Thousand Needles, or old dungeon speedruns like Razor and Crow or Alderman. That is why you would need a speed set as well. So, the idea is to gather a vast amount of low sell rate, high value items and post them all in the auction house. Generally, it's a good measure to have about 2,000 posted at any given time. So, despite their low sell rate, which you can see from TSM, like it'll be 0.01 or 0.02, which means you're probably going to sell one every 100, 200 days. But because you've got so many posted, you're guaranteed to sell at least a few a day. And the higher item value they are, the more gold you're going to make, of course. So these items that you're going to go for specifically are going to be things like the Slutmog gear, like Glorious Armor, or some of the other old world armor sets like Bloodlust or Vanguard. They drop a lot on the Silphus farm, which is why I like doing it. They'll generally sell for about 10,000 to 150,000 each, depending on the slot of the item. So the Glorious Legs, they'll sell for about 150k on some servers, but the belt will sell for like 10,000, you know, on a good day. So it is quite a lot of RNG involved on what you get, but yeah, it can be really, really good. So you also have a chance at some of the big ticket items from the old world farms like Skullflame Shield or Tibu's Blazing Longsword, Blade of Hannah even. Those things go from, I don't know, 200,000 to 700,000. It just depends what realm you're on. So the way I like to do this, preferably you're going to have about 5 druids in a group, all balanced spec. I prefer feral, but that's because I'm fucking weird. So I get moaned out a lot for that, but I prefer feral. But yeah, generally you're going to want to be balanced. You run around, you AoE kill everything, like I'm sure you've seen all the bots doing. I do it for about an hour each time. You can do it for more, you can do it for less. I don't know, I'm not your dad, you know. Do it as much as you want. And then you're going to loot the mobs every couple of minutes. So some sessions you're going to get nothing but pure garbage. But some other sessions you're going to get millions in loot value. It all comes down to RNG, you know, just like real life. You've got no control over it. Just got to hope you get lucky. But yeah, they can be really, really lucrative farms. So yeah, let's summarize the pros and cons. All right, the pros. It's an excellent source of sustainable steady income. I mean, if you get like a inventory of like 3,000, 4,000 items, you know, you're going to be making hundreds of thousands a day, depending on what farms you do, of course. And it can be super fun and relaxing for point number 2, especially when you get like the high-end payload items like Skullflame Shield. You know, it does make you feel excited when you see that 250,000 in big letters from the Loot Appraiser add-on come up. But mainly, I had, a lot of spare time a few months ago, and you know, you just load up WoW, do some farming for an hour, calms you down, relaxes you. It's fun. Now the cons. So to be truly successful in doing this, you're going to have to cancel scan a lot, which I'll put on the screen now, in case people undercut you. Which, I mean, if you're not going to have to worry about too much on normal realms, but if you're on a roleplay realm where a lot of people love Transmog like Argent Dawn, you're going to have to cancel scan a lot, which is where you check through the TSM add-on to see if people have undercut you. It's a very, very fun process watching people undercut you by 10 silver or right after you've posted, but you're gonna need to do it if you want to actually make sales. So it can be very mind-numbing, but it is worth it. And second con, it takes a lot of time to get started. You're gonna have to do those boring farms like Razorfen Kroll, Razorfen Downs to get your base set of items for your inventory, because that's what we're doing. We're building up a massive amount of stuff, like 2,000, 3,000 items. So you're gonna have to start from somewhere. I started in dungeons, and then I moved on to some of the bigger things. And once you're at the end of it, once you've got a nice selection of stuff to post and keep up, you can do stuff like Alderman, which again can take you hundreds and hundreds of runs to get a good item, but you can get some really good stuff from there. Like, so I think they're called the ultra items or something from Alderman, because they sell for so much, like millions. What's that one called? Pendulum of Doom. That sells for fucking tons, but it's very hard to get. But yeah, to summarize, it takes a lot of time to get started into this. It can take a month or two to get your items up, and then even then, once you've got them all, to get some of the bigger ticket items, it can take even longer. So do bear that in mind as well if you're thinking of getting into this. But overall, I found it quite relaxing. I had a couple of friends to do it with. It was fun. So I still do it from time to time. Maybe I'll put up a picture of my auction house or something, my sales, so you can see. I'm going to put in some footage of arenas just so you guys have something to watch. Now, this isn't for everyone, but it can be very lucrative. There are some prerequisites though that you'll need, which is why it's not for everyone. So since you're providing a service, people need to be able to know that you can provide that service. So you're going to need like some PvP achievements like Gladiator or 2.7k rating, just to show you that you're capable of doing what you say you can. I mean, for me, since Warrior was, I guess you could say, strong in the beginning of Shadowlands, and even now actually, it was quite easy for me to boost people to 1.8k rating, because 1.8k is where they would get their transmogs for the rival set and item level upgrades. So there was a lot of people doing it. There was casual people doing it, they wanted cool looking gear. There was raiders doing it because they wanted strong gear for their raids for Mythic Nathria, because I think you'd get, what was it, 218 from the rival gear or something crazy like that. It was really strong, or 220 or something like that. Yeah, I think it was 220. And people were charging like 75,000 gold for 100 rating, which is obviously depending on the person buying it. But, you know, you could do a lot and make a lot in an hour. So theoretically, you could be making like $1 million a day, which is definitely better than farming leather in Maldraxxus. So I made a lot of gold doing this. It definitely jump-started my interest in making gold and my slow but steady descent into gambling addiction on the black market. So let's get into the pros and cons of doing this. The first pro, it's very quick, it's very lucrative. Like I just said, you can bang out a lot of games, do a lot of carries in an hour, and make a ton of gold. Number two, it's skill-based. So there is really no limit to how far you can go. It's just based on how much time and effort you're willing to put into learning Arena. The third, it's fun. I I had quite a lot of fun doing it. I mean, it is quite fun trashing on people and getting paid to do so in arena, of course. So it didn't really feel like a job for me, like making gold. Like when I go out and I farm like mining nodes or whatever, that feels boring and it feels long and I don't enjoy it. Arena is fun, it's competitive, and you make a lot more gold doing it. So yeah, I found it fun. Now the cons. The market is very saturated. Wasn't too bad in the beginning, but now if you open looking for group, 90% of the groups are going to be want to sell boost on blazingboost.com or whatever, and like, I mean, I think they're charging real money as well, which is bannable, so don't do that. But there's a lot of people doing it, so even if you do get someone who wants to buy it, it's gonna be very cheap compared to what it was. Two, it's not very healthy for the game. I don't really care about that too much anymore. I did until all the Blizzard drama came out and how they're all a bunch of or the executives a bunch of fucking perverts. So I don't give a shit about the health of the game now. They should keep their hands to themselves, and I won't feel bad about PvP boosting. Number three, it can be a little bit hard to get into with no experience. So you're not just gonna be able to be like a Nafria raider and then be like, I want to do PvP boosting now, without ever having done it before. So you need to know what you're doing. You need to not only learn all of your spells and when to use them, but all of every other class's spells and when to use them and what comps there are, etc. There's a lot of knowledge you've got to learn. There's a lot of macros you're going to have to make, a lot of keybinds you're going to have to remember. So do remember that before you try and get into boosting. Personally, I found other ways of making gold that I enjoy more than this now. So I'm a bit washed up. I haven't done it in a while, but as you can see, here are some of my low CR games. So you can see how it is quite easy to win if you just put in a little time and effort. Now, time for rule number 2. Use your brain. I know it should be common sense, but you'd really be surprised. So, this is a third way that I've made gold. So what exactly is gold swapping? Well, we'll do a quick disclaimer first before we get into it. Alright, Blizzard have said the exchange of gold or items with another player on a different realm or faction is entirely at your own risk. If you're the victim of a scam, contact us. Okay, so personally, I wouldn't say gold swapping is risky if you use your brain. On the WoW Market Discord, there is a plethora of options when it comes to selling or buying stuff. So the people who trade on there usually have a reputation. You can check this reputation in the Rep Master section under Community. So as you can see here, people have been checking people they're going to be making trades with. So first off, make sure you check out anyone who you'll be doing a trade with to ensure they can be trusted. Okay, there's a few scammers on here, but I mean, anywhere there's money to be made, there's going to be scammers. So just use your brain and you'll be fine. So, gold swapping. Let's go to this section. There is one for retail EU and there's one for retail US. So make sure you go on the right one before you start doing anything gold swapping. So, I mean, what exactly is gold swapping? It's pretty much what the name suggests. So let's say you've got 1 million gold on Ravencrest and you want 1 million gold on Kazakh. You'll simply find someone through here who has 1 million gold on Kazakh and you ask them if you want to swap for your gold on Ravencrest. So you're basically just trading places. Sometimes these are one-to-one trades where you literally just swap 1 million and then you're done with it. But more often than not, if you request gold in a certain realm, the person providing that gold will charge you a fee. So yeah, can pay in many realms with fee. So that can be a minimum trade fee, so 50,000 gold per trade, or it can be a base percentage fee, like 5 to 15% of the gold amount. So let me go into one of these spreadsheets just so you can see what some people have to offer. So let's take a look at one of the spreadsheets. Mula's gold. As you can see here, he has 1.8 million on the grand, 460,000 Karazhan Alliance, 450,000 Karazhan Horde. So anyone who's looking to swap gold will come into this Discord, they'll look through the spreadsheets, they'll find his, and they'll be like, okay, well, he's got 1.2 million on Exodar. That's where I want to go. He doesn't have any on Kazakh, so maybe he'd like to swap my Kazakh gold for his Exodar gold. See? And then he is able to charge a fee, since he's the one providing the service, unless it's a one-to-one trade, obviously. So let's say Timmy wanted to transfer 5 million of his gold from Boulder Fist to Kazakh, and Terence was like, yeah, I can do that for a 10% fee. So Timmy will probably look around on here a little bit more for a cheaper fee. He probably won't find a fee cheaper than 10%, so he'll take the deal. The fee can come out in two ways. It can be on top of the 5 million, so he'll pay 5 million plus 500,000, or it can come out of the 5 million. So Terence will receive 5 million from Timmy, but Timmy will receive 4.5 million from Terence because of the fee. So, I mean, it's pretty boilerplate stuff when it comes to trading. Some people charge much higher fees, like 20 to 25%, but that's usually on if they're getting gold on a very undesirable realm that won't see much action. Personally, I partnered with a friend, Mula, who has a good reputation. Mine's not so much because I do my trades vicariously through him. So, I mean, we've got a couple of shared guild banks that we can use to swap gold around. So, I mean, I've got a few million lying on a bunch of random different servers that I take over to my warrior for black market videos if I, if I want to. Which brings me to the pros and cons of gold swapping. So, let's go with pro number 1. It helps the rich stay rich. You can make anywhere from 50,000 to $1 million a trade depending on the amount of gold being requested. So if you've got a minimum fee set, you're guaranteed to make at least 50k a trade, or 30k in some instances. On big trades, you can make up to $1 million if you're moving a ton of gold for someone. It just depends on the amount being requested, but yeah, it is a good way to maintain your wealth. Pro number 2, you can build up a great reputation, which can open up a lot of doors and new opportunities. So the more successful you are on here, the more trades you make, the higher up the ladder you climb, the more people want to trade with you because you're obviously more reliable, like these legendary traders or ethereal traders. You can gain access to a lot of stuff. People will come to you with weird offers like, oh hey, I'm quitting WoW, can I get like 5 million gold on this realm? I'll give you my guild bank full of like a year's worth of farming, stuff like that, which has actually happened, so I can make a video on that later if you guys like. But yeah, you can make a ton of new opportunities, and it's a really good way to maintain your wealth. Which brings me to con number 1. It requires a lot of gold in the first place. You can't start this with like 20,000, 30,000. You need a couple of million, preferably across a bunch of realms, or maybe a lot on one realm, like Kazakh or Twisting Nether, the high pop realms or full realms, where gold is very desirable because mythic raiders need it for their consumables, etc. And maybe they want to buy Transmog and it's quite cheap on those realms. So it does require a lot of gold in the first place, so you're going to need to do some other gold methods to get to this point. And con number 2, there is risk involved. I mean, it's not exactly supported by Blizzard, this, as they've said, and scammers do exist. But you can't live your life in fear of scammers. You know, I'm sure you don't fall for the Nigerian prince email scams that you get sent. It's the exact same in this, just a bit more modern. So avoid the scammers. There's quite a few impersonators on here. So you can see like on some of these, they'll say, or is it? I don't know. But they'll say like, I will never add you, so don't trade with someone who's got my name and tries to add you because they're trying to scam. So yeah, just be careful, be mindful, and you'll be fine. I do recommend this. You can make quite a lot of gold. Different sections, etc. The TCG loot. I mean, I made 10 million selling a bear the other day, a big blizzard bear. There's quite a few people selling them now. But yeah, you can make a ton of money doing a bunch of different stuff. So check out the WoW Market Discord. And lastly, we have flipping. Now, this isn't going to be a long part, as I am not all too familiar with this. I've messed around with it a little bit. I've made about maybe 500k profit from it, but it is quite a risky thing to do, and I don't want to, lie to you guys and say that I'm confident in this when I'm not. But I'll talk about a little bit about what I did and what I made gold from. Personally, I prefer doing old world BOE flipping, like Tomb of Sargeras, well, not completely old world, but like Legion stuff, BFA stuff. So here, for example, last stand Great Belt, it's a mythic BOE from BFA. I got this for like 10k, resell it for about 89,000 on this server. I've sold a couple of these things before for a huge amount of profit, but it's kind of hard to do on high pop servers, so I'm not entirely confident on it. So I'll just talk to you a little bit about what I've done. Basically, you want to try and find these, not Warforged or Raid Finder. You want to find the mythic ones for cheap and then resell them for higher, because they do always sell. It just takes a matter of time, just like the transmog farming. So I mean, I've got a favourite list here. Some of them are not available at all. But I mean, you're not really going to find a Skullflame Shield or a T-Booze for less than this. But for this stuff, someone might post a mythic one for 10k, not knowing the value of it. And you just buy it, and then you resell it for higher. This one is Warforged, 155,000. No one's ever going to buy that, because it's, not special. But can we find any mythic ones? No. Doesn't look like there's any mythic ones up at the moment. Oh yeah, mythic Wasteguard of Elemental Resistance. No competition. He's probably going to sell this. Don't know how long it's going to take, but there you go. Just thought I'd add this in here. Flipping is viable. I'm not too familiar with it, so I'm not going to make it a big part of the video. So, what are my final thoughts on the video and gold making in general? So, there's plenty of ways to make gold, as I've told you. There's transmog farming, PvP boosting, gold swapping, crafting, map farming. You can do anything, but my opinion is you should do it to have fun, because I mean, if you're watching this video, I'm sure you're like me and we play WoW because it's a game that we love, so you might as well feel fun whilst you're playing it and not like a chore, So that's the most important thing. Just make sure you enjoy it, and then the gold will come. Just go explore a few ways of doing it. I didn't really talk about crafting or map farming in this video because it's personally not something I do or enjoy or really understand. I mean, I don't want to have to make you guys sit through a 20-minute video of me explaining what map farming is, because I'm sure you will know. So yeah, my final thoughts, just make sure you enjoy it, and yeah, just have fun. I've never really done any videos like this before. I pretty much had to learn how to edit just for this video, because I did a bit of editing in my 10th one, but that wasn't too great. So yeah, I hope you guys liked it. I put a lot of work into this. It took me a lot of time to make it. So just let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Alright, thanks for watching.